Hello, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, I am Danny Nicole, and today we are talking all about self-awareness. So if this is a topic you struggle with, if this is something that you don't even know what it means or how to find some of your own, this is the perfect video for you. I'm going to teach you all about how to improve your self-awareness and how to just like change your outlook, change your perspective on life in general. So keep watching if that's something you're interested in. And on this channel, we talk about so many things. Spirituality, personal development, self-love, all about your healing journey, the ins and outs. If you're going through a spiritual awakening, I want to guide you. And yeah, there's so much more in between. So if any of those topics interest you, I'm so glad you're here. So glad you're part of this community that is going to be ever growing over the next few months, and I can't wait for that. So without further ado,
You want eggs?
my mom. Without further ado, we are going to talk about how to improve your self-awareness. So first things first, I feel like it's really important to be self-aware in general because it allows you to have a different viewpoint, to have a different perspective, to approach certain situations in a different way. And like for me, it's just learning a lot about myself and how I show up and how certain things affect me and how I used to react to certain situations versus how I react now. There's just a lot that has there's a lot that has transpired because I've adopted the practice of self-awareness. And with self-awareness, like a lot of people strive to find happiness, to find clarity, to find love for themselves, and to just feel whole and complete within who they are as an individual. But you will not be able to find that until you achieve self-acceptance. And what I mean by self-acceptance is literally accepting every aspect of who you are, no matter where you're at. So if you're not happy with where you're at in life, or the person that you are, or maybe how you acted in your past life, or whatever the case may be, you have to accept those aspects of you in order to achieve that love for yourself, in order to continue moving forward, in order to make those improvements. Because if you are trying to improve and doing all this work and doing all this healing and doing all this fixing of yourself, but you're not accepting of the person that you are at this very moment in time, then all the work you're doing is basically garbage, because you will never achieve the love and like feelings you're looking for if you don't accept yourself with where you're at, because you can only improve from where you're at. I mean, yes, you can go downward, you can get worse, but that's obviously totally up to you. But gaining the self-awareness allows you to continue to want to grow and want to evolve and want to improve with where you're at. So for me, I wrote down a couple of things that have helped me find my self-awareness, and like I said, gaining it has changed my entire personality, my outlook, how I show up on a day-to-day basis, has changed my relationships, and everything else in between. So the first two things are doing inner child work and shadow work, and you could do these in multiple different forms. Inner child work and with inner child work, you can do meditations, you could do journal prompts, you can literally sit here and have a conversation with your inner child, do things that you used to love as a child that maybe you missed out on, maybe you crave more of that thing in your life. Because the saying that we're all children at heart is so true, because our inner child never leaves us, and most of our inner children are damaged. So therefore, we spend a lot of our lives repairing them. And a lot of people don't even know that a lot of their problems, a lot of their issues, a lot of their trauma, a lot of how they're feeling, a lot of those voids stem from things that your inner child lacked. So if you, and this goes for me as well, so if you in your childhood were ever neglected, abused, verbally, physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever category, if you weren't given the attention that you desired, the love, the compassion, like the validation, whatever it is you were searching for and yearning for as a child, which is very common in most children. Like, most children crave the same things, but I also know a lot of children lacked the same things. But if you fall into any of those categories, that means that you have some work to do on your inner child. You have to connect with that child from within and tell them how much you love them. Tell them how much you care about them. Tell them that they are accepted by you, that they are loved by you, that that you approve of them. Because maybe in your childhood, your parents didn't approve of your behaviors. Your siblings made fun of you. You were bullied in school. Whatever it is, like, a lot of us have suffered and gone through a lot of trauma in childhood. Therefore, we work our whole adulthood to repair that. And repairing that allows you to be more self-aware in your everyday life, because a lot of your actions and a lot of the choices you make come back to your inner child and what your inner child wants, craves, and desires. So when you start living in for your inner child rather than for your present self, I feel like life becomes more fun, and it also, you just become more connected to every aspect of you. So it's just that much cooler. Celery juice. I've been on a juice kick for like over a month now. I do 3 juices a day. I was like doing juice cleanses, but then I was like, why don't I just incorporate juice in my daily life and change the game? Change the game. Shadow work. I feel like a lot of people are scared when you hear the word shadow work, because shadow, darkness, shadow might be something like scary, but honestly, we all have shadows. All of us have shadow aspects of ourselves, and those are just aspects that have been suppressed, that have been buried, that have been, maybe you were ashamed of those aspects of you, so you hid them. Maybe they were brought up because of trauma and brought up because of wounds, but they're too painful to deal with, so you have suppressed them over the years. Maybe it's things that you were made fun of in your past and now you're ashamed of them, so you have also hid these layers to yourself. So I feel like all of us are onions. Like, we have so many different layers to us, and the more that we bury, the more work that we have to do. The more that we suppress, the more painful it's probably going to be, because these things have been hidden for so long extended periods of time, and now they're rising up. And a lot of times, like, sometimes, like, if you don't choose to deal with them on your own, you will be forced to deal with them by the universe, by your spirit guides, because they know that in order for you to grow, in order for you to evolve, which is what we came here to do, you need to address these sides to yourself. So there's also meditations you could do, journal prompts you could do. I have an actual like whole book that I purchased that it's like 200 pages that goes in depth. I'm going to start posting shadow work and inner child work and all those kind of prompts and things on my Instagram and on my TikTok. So if you're not following me on those, definitely hop on that, because I'm going to be sharing so much value over this next year and on, because I know that this journey is not easy. I know that this journey is overwhelming at times. It can be scary. You're diving into the unknown. You're diving into uncharted waters that you've never been to before. Like, this is all new to a lot of us. So I get it when you might be a little bit nervous, or you might feel like you're not going to have all the answers. You're not going to know, like, every step you take, you're not going to know what's on the other side. So you kind of just have to trust and go with the flow, and know that all this work you're doing is for your highest good, and you'll start feeling better. You'll start feeling lighter. You'll start feeling more clarity. So if you're feeling lost right now, or if you're feeling just like out of sorts or overwhelmed in any way, I'm telling you, doing this work is going to allow you to open up so many new sides of you, and allow you to kind of like look at things more in a bird's eye view rather than like directly head on. And that actually makes things a lot easier, in my opinion. Meditation is another one, just in general. Like, you could do specific inner child meditations, shadow work ones, or you could do just whatever it is you're feeling. You can do guided ones, you could do ones with just total silence, binaural beats, whatever speaks to you, whatever works for you. I still do guided ones to this day. I also do ones without. Like, I don't always do guided, but most of the time I feel like I still do guided. So there's nothing wrong with that, no matter where you're at in your journey. And there's so many on YouTube, so definitely like find ones that resonate. I feel like eventually I'm gonna start making meditations as well, like my personal ones. So I will announce that when that time comes, but for now, just find some on YouTube. There's so many different options. Spending more time alone is huge, because for me, I used to run away from my alone time. I used to distract myself with every possible thing known to man. And this matrix that we live in is full of distractions. Netflix, like any TV, the news, sports, like external sources, like friends, people we hang out with, even family. What else? Religion is a distraction. There's just so many things that like that the matrix, that the inorganic ones, that the authoritative parties want to keep you sucked into all of these different things, so that way you don't focus on yourself, so that way you don't build within, that way you don't heal your wounds, that way you don't level up and rise above all of this trauma and suppression that you have done to yourself all of these years. They don't want you to figure out your truth. They don't want you to know your powers. They don't want you to see what you're capable of. That is why they've created all of this external sources for you to grasp onto when you get uncomfortable. Alcohol is another one. Drugs are another one. People, when they don't have the answers, when they're getting overwhelmed, when they get stressed, when they feel some type of way, they look for distractions in order for them to cope. Social media, scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on Instagram. You're mindlessly doing that. You're not doing that. Like, you're doing that to fill a void within yourself that you are feeling, but you don't necessarily know how to get yourself out of feeling like crap. So I'm helping you. Self-awareness will change your life. And yeah, so spend more time alone, do more things, figure out what your inner child loved. Like, did your inner child love being outside? Did it love the beach? Did it love playing in water? Did it love building sandcastles? Did it love painting, any kind of artwork, like drawing, singing, making music? Like, what did your inner child love to do? And do more of those things, and watch how much your life drastically changes. The next one I have is eliminating distractions from your life. For me, when I embarked on my spiritual awakening, because I've started my journey through personal development and self-help and self-growth, and then it kind of led to my spiritual awakening, and then it just kind of transcended from there. But when I embarked on my spiritual awakening, I literally cut everyone off, because I realized none of the friends that I had were actually true connections. They were all just me filling voids that I was lacking within myself. Like, I didn't feel, I lacked love, I lacked affection, I lacked attention, I wanted validation, I wanted that compassion, I wanted just what I've never seen in my life and what I've never received from anybody, because I've also never been in a relationship. So it's just like, I've craved that, and I've forever looked for that in outside sources, but I never knew that I had the ability to fulfill that within myself. I had the ability to give myself everything I needed in order for me to feel whole and complete. And you have the exact same abilities. They want you to think that you are codependent and we can't survive on our own. That's why like women don't need men. We are independent, we can do our own thing, like we can survive by ourselves, but society's standards and what society wants you to think is that you need another person in order to feel whole and complete. You need all of these outside things, all of these materialistic things, all of this bullshit to make yourself feel whole and complete. But you will find out once you get that relationship, once you buy all those things, once you have that big house, once you have that nice car, once you have all this shit, you're gonna realize you still feel empty. you're going to realize that you still feel like you're lacking somewhere. There's still a void there. There's still a hole missing. How can I fix it? Self-awareness, getting to know yourself, falling in love with yourself, with all parts of you, not just the parts that you like, flaws and all. Embrace your flaws. Your flaws are your superpower. Your flaws are what make you unique. Your flaws aren't a bad thing. And you have the ability to change in every aspect of your being. You can heal yourself from illnesses. You can cure allergies. You can completely change your identity entirely. But they don't want you to know that. Look up Joe Dispenza. Joe Dispenza has literally hands down cured so many people of cancers, from blindness, of deafness. He cured himself. He was told he was never going to walk again. He was told that his vertebrae was severed, and he had a bunch of just spinal injuries. He was in a wheelchair. I think he was in a coma for a while. All this shit. They told him it wasn't looking good for him for the rest of his life. But he was absolutely not. That is not the diagnosis I am accepting. I am going to figure out a way to heal myself. And he did. Through meditation. He is now walking, talking, doing all the things a normal person would do. And he's a superhuman. We're all superhumans. And, and then he's helped so many other people. He's had so many seminars and all of these retreats and everything, and he's made such a difference in so many people's lives in drastic ways. So once you see it's happening with all of these people, you realize, wait a minute, I don't need to numb myself with all of these medications. I can actually cure myself internally, by myself, and I don't need all of these friends in my life to make me feel good about myself. I can make myself feel good on my own. It's also too, once you go through a spiritual awakening, you are going to realize that you are probably not aligned with anyone in your life. I was not aligned with anything in my life at all. I was completely off of right field, left field, whatever field. I was not in the ballpark of how I wanted to feel, the direction I wanted to go. I was just mindlessly living life, and I was just going through the motions. And then I realized, whoa. This is not the life I want to live. This is not what I came down on earth for. I came to evolve, I came to grow, and I came to surround myself with people that want to do the same. That's why the Soul Tribe hunt is on, but I'm not even hunting. I know they're going to find me in divine timing. I'm slowly connecting with amazing people throughout the way. And also too, be mindful that everyone that comes into your life is temporary. Nothing is truly forever. And once you adopt that mindset too, that's a huge thing for me, because I used to get so attached to people, to outcomes, to certain scenario situations, but now I don't. I'm completely go with the flow, free range, just let it happen how it's meant to happen. And the more that you are loose and flowing and just let things just take their course, the more you're going to be blown away by how amazing life is. I have 3 more. Journaling is another huge one. You could do journal prompts, you can do free write, you can do whatever's on your mind. I journal every single day, 2 to 3 pages at least. If I feel called to do more, I will. But I do at least 2 to 3 pages. And then every week I do self-reflections. So I'm about to do one because it's Monday right now. So I'm about to do one. You can do it on Sunday night. Sometimes I do it on Sunday night. Sometimes I do it on Monday morning. But just weekly reflections to just kind of evaluate how you did last week. What can you improve on? What kind of things could you eliminate? What kind of things weren't serving you? What kind of things boosted you up? What changes can you make? I could share journal prompts with you as far as doing those reflections. Let me know in the comments if you want some of those. And then as far as daily too, at nighttime, evaluate how'd you feel today? What did you get done? What are you proud of? What can you improve on for tomorrow? Constantly figuring out ways to be 1% better each day is goals. And that's what you should be striving to accomplish. So however you can get to that point is good. So whatever works for you. And whatever works for some other people may not work for you. So be mindful in that too. Like, you don't have to follow what everyone else is doing and how everyone else is doing it. Everyone is different. And then also, last thing, astrology. Like, me getting in tune with astrology and like figuring out my chart, and then like looking at all of my like rising sign and my moon sign, sun sign, and then like you can go into your Venus and Mars and Saturn and Lilith and all the other signs too. I haven't dove that deeply into mine yet, but I do follow like the moon. I live by the moon. I follow the moon. Like it's a full moon today, actually, as we're speaking. And yeah, I follow all that stuff because it actually makes a difference in how I'm feeling and how I show up, in the things I do, in where I put my energies, all of it. It's huge. And knowing as much as you can about yourself, and then also like figuring out other people in your life. Like, if you know their big three, their rising sun and moon, you can learn a fuck ton about a person. And they're pretty accurate. I know a lot of people say astrology's bullshit, but it has not proven me wrong yet. And I'm gonna stand by it. Like, whether you believe it or not, it is what it is. But that's just me. It's helped me a ton. And I'm gonna keep listening and recording it. I'm actually gonna I have a calendar back there with all the moon cycles. It's from October though, I haven't changed it, but I have all the moon, what the moon is, because the moon changes every day. Like every 28 days, I believe, is a cycle. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that, but the moon is in like the same sign for like 2 to 3 days. So like the last 3 days it was in Cancer. And then tomorrow it's in Leo, and yeah, it just changes. But you can correlate that with like whatever house that certain sign is in, is how you show up in the day, or like whatever, like the most beneficial, or to have the most productive and beneficial day living by the moon helps you to do that. Because like the energies of the moon make a difference in how we feel. But like, they don't want you to know that, but it's true. That's why like the full moon is like one of the craziest days out of the month, because like the energies are heightened and there's just a lot of shit circulating, and like with the planets and all of it. So yeah, but I could go on and on forever. If this helped you, let me know in the comments. Let me know what kind of takeaways you've gotten. And then don't forget, like, subscribe, and come back for more. I'm going to be recording videos every single day, and I'm so excited to provide you guys with so much value and so much just wisdom from my experiences and just what I've been through throughout my process, because this has been a roller coaster ride, but I'm glad to have you here. Thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, just do any one of these things, multiple of these things, incorporate them as much as possible, and I promise you, your self-awareness will skyrocket through the roof. But remember that you have to accept yourself for who you are right now, all aspects of you, in order to continue evolving. Because if you cannot accept yourself and all of your flaws and all of your mistakes and all of your missteps over X amount of time, then you're never going to be able to grow, because you're going to continuously be holding on to these grudges, holding on to this hurt, holding on to this pain. You have to allow it to move through. You have to allow yourself to be fully accepting and bless and release. Do what you got to do. Do a little ritual. Do a little like releasing ceremony. And yeah, do what you got to do. But anyways, love you. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.